I was at Cape Breton University. My wife was working there, and there was a basketball tournament, and there was a team from China came in, a women's professional team, and my wife said, could you just come? There'll be an interpreter there. So we were at Eastside Mario's in Sydney. We were talking, conversation was going around, and everything was translated. At one point, I asked Chinese music, what do you like? I said, now, I don't know if this is true, but I was told that the melody for this song was originally a Chinese folk tune. I started singing, should all acquaintance be? I just started the song. They started singing in the Chinese the same melody, but the different words. So they stood up at Eastside Mario's in Sydney and they sang
a Chinese folks with the same melody that everyone sings for Auld Lang Syne every year.
For more than 25 years, a family of multi-award-winning musicians, the Barra MacNeils, have been crisscrossing the country with their Christmas concerts. We've managed to catch up to them in British Columbia as they work their way home to the East Coast, just in time for Christmas. Lucy and Stewart MacNeil will be sharing stories and a lot of seasonal music with us on this edition of Today in BC. Kimmer Mahal, Noel Crea.
Noel Crea.
Close.
You're good.
We didn't see each other for 25 years, and we've run into each other twice in 2 years in a row. And it really doesn't seem like a year since the last time we sat and chatted.
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
Yes.
Seems like it was 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
That's good.
A lot's happened to music in the past year with bands and musicians getting back out on the road in earnest. Playing concerts and festivals must be a great feeling.
It is great to be out touring again, and fans are very supportive. They're out now at the shows, and I think they enjoy the shows more now than they've ever enjoyed them. And in the band, we're having a lot of fun with the tour, and it's always interesting pulling another show together, trying to keep the favorites, put something new in, change things up. But at the same time, people come every year as it's a bit of a tradition for their families. And boy, it's become a tradition for us. Over 20 years, we've been touring across Canada with this. It's hard to believe.
And in those many years, there's people that come and they want to hear certain ones, even though we try to change the show up every year, just different instrumentals and different placings of things. But there's certain things that you just have to leave in.
How many shows will you do this year?
I believe it's 36 shows in 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah, there's double headers on some days. And you have to take your vitamins and you got to pace yourself, that's for sure. We have a great crew with us, and it really is a labor of love. It never, ever gets old seeing how gorgeous the scenery is across this country and how varied. We have a bit of a trek through the dark time of the year, and we hope to bring people a little bit of light during the dark times. And a lot of people say that the show gets them in the mood for the season. It certainly gets us in the mood in a big way.
We started in Whitehorse. That certainly made it very wintry and Christmassy. For me anyway, flying in and the fresh cold air when we got out of the airport. It just made starting off the whole Christmas tour very magical.
We played up there for St. Paddy's Day one time.
Yeah.
And back in the 90s, we played a Frostbite Festival that's in February of the year. And they certainly roll out the welcome mat for you there. And it is such a treat to be able to go to places like Whitehorse.
So you'll be spending every waking minute with each other for better part of 6 weeks, I guess. And then and talking about Christmas, singing about Christmas. And then you'll be back together on Christmas Day, or will you take a little wee break there?
Oh, no, we usually get together on Christmas Day. This will be the first one without our mother, so it'll be a little different, but we'll all come together, and our father's is still there in the house, and he's very sharp and in good health, so he'll be wanting lots of music played and help with the turkey dinner.
Sure.
I had a question for you from our mailbag, and it goes like this. I understand you're a MacNeil family from Sydney Mines, Cape Breton, probably one of many MacNeil families from Sydney Mines. What does the Barras stand for?
Barra is an island off the coast of Scotland. Small, little wee island. That's where the association is. That's where it started, at Kisimul Castle. Although it's a very small island, there's a huge tradition, especially of Gaelic singing. Some of the finest singers on the planet came from that island. And a lot of that tradition came over to Cape Breton. Our mother named us. When we started playing, she said, you should call yourself the Barra MacNeils. We said, yeah, sounds good. It was during that era, there was a lot of folk bands on the go, and we were playing between square dances and concerts and pubs and places like that.
They were the MacNeil boys then.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that once the girl came along.
We'd play in Washabuk and they'd put a poster on the ferry. That was the advertising.
The good old days. Did you all sing in choirs growing up in Sydney Mines, Cape Breton? The Cape Breton area?
Oh, yes. And Christmas time especially was extremely busy because Mum sang in the adult choir and I sang in the girls' choir and the boys sang in the boys' choir. They all seemed to be singing at different masses, so it was very busy. That was earlier on in our lives.
And Seamus and myself did some choral singing at Mount Allison University back in the day. And,
I did too.
And Lucy did too. It certainly left a strong impression on me. I know we did Handel's Messiah one year. It was an anniversary year. For me, that was the first time to do that. And I finally learned to sing by having to sing those tenor parts.
Sweet silver bells all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song. With joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On all they said, long without end, their joyful tone to every home. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song. With joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. How the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away. Christmas is here, bringing good cheer to young and old, meek and the bold. Ding dong, that is the song. With joyful ring, all caroling. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here, merry, 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 merry Christmas. Merry, 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 merry Christmas. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. On they send, on without end, their joyful tone to every home. Ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding, ding dong, ding.
There's a Christmas tune you perform called Christmas Once a Year.
That's the one we got from the Clancy brothers. Now, we call it Christmas Comes But Once a Year, but the original title is actually Christmas in Carrick. It's a very ruckus type of cut, and we always liked it. And I suppose it also ties in with the fact that we were so fortunate that Tommy Makem joined us for 2 recitations on a couple of our albums, and it really set the tone for sure.
The very first album, we actually recorded it in May. Tommy came and he did 2 recitations. We used one on the first album and one on the second album, and he did them in one take, both of them. Just so amazing.
On the road the frost is
lights glistening, people stream from midnight mass. Friendly candles glowing, windows, strangers greet you as you pass. Home then to the laden table, ham and goose and pints of beer. Whiskey handed around in tumblers, Christmas comes but once a year. Puddings made with eggs and treacle, seeded raisins and brown suet. Sifted breadcrumbs and mixed spices, grated rind and plenty fruit. Cinnamon, ginger, cloves and nutmeg, porter, brandy and old ale. Don't forget the wine and whiskey, Christmas comes but once a year. Fussing in the kitchen, lay the food on every plate. Men are patient in the hallway, gulping porter while they wait. Who cares if there's no tomorrow? Now's the time to spread good cheer. Pass the punch around the table, Christmas comes but once a year. Who cares if there's no tomorrow? Now's the time to spread good cheer. Pass the punch around the table, Christmas comes but once a year.
So you're recording a Christmas album in May. How strange is that?
Oh, it's quite strange. But with their very first one, our parents actually cooked a big turkey and made a whole meal because we had a lot of guests. We had a lot of people that have passed on now in our lives. Our Uncle Hector, our Uncle Carl.
Many of the Iona Gaelic singers.
Yeah, the Iona Gaelic singers. And there's a whole slew of them. Hughie Campbell was another gentleman from Washabuck, a fiddler. They made a big feed and we all had a turkey dinner as we were doing this Christmas album. And it added to everything. It was magical. Everything. Tommy Makem was the first thing we recorded and that set the tone. And then everything went from there.
Turkey makes it better.
It does it.
Yeah.
It makes me sleepy.
Yes, it does that.
Sydney Mines is a colliery town, coal mining town, where my mom grew up. And that's been a big part of the tradition of your music over the years. One of the Christmas songs that you bring to the stage is a more modern Christmas song, which sounds like it could have been written 300 years ago. Miner's First Noel.
Miner's First Noel was written by Bob Quinn, who was probably best known for writing My Love, Cape Breton and Me. It was a big hit for Roger Whittaker. Bob was living in Sydney Mines for a few years, actually, and he was putting shows together, and we would join him on some of the shows. He's a very creative guy, and he did a little bit of research on Sydney Mines, and he wanted to write a song that had some sort of a theme. He came up with the Miner's First Noel. The first time I heard it, I said, yeah, that's great. The images are great. It's got something magical about it, and I think it's become a favorite for a lot of people in Sydney Mines too as well.
'Twas the most unusual Christmas Eve in the town of Sydney Mines. 'Twas cold and wet, I'll never forget December of 29. The boys were working the final shift and ready to leave the mine. We hadn't seen a ray of sun in over a week of time. There were 21 of us on the lift and headed toward the top when the bloody cage refused to raise and came to a grinding stop. We
took to cursing, and even worse as the boys began to grieve. Would we all survive or be alive on this fateful Christmas Eve? And back at home our thoughts did roam to kids and pumpkin pie, to the fireplace, the warm embrace of neighbours dropping by. So we joined in song and sang along, we wished each other well, for on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel. So Johnny boy took out the whistle, he kept it in his sack, and Billy had a concertina strapped upon his back. And all the fear would disappear as everyone sang along. We found our Christmas spirit and we raised it up in song. But back at home our thoughts did roam to kids and pumpkin pie, to the fireplace, the warm embrace of neighbours dropping by. So we joined in song and sang along, we wished each other well, for on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel. A thermos full of spicy punch was mixed with navy rum. We had an extra hard hat and we banged it like a drum. And in that frigid and dreary cage we found a meaning clear, when 20 men would join as friends and find the Christmas cheer. So back at home our thoughts did roam to kids and pumpkin pie, to the fireplace, the warm embrace of neighbours dropping by. So we joined in song and sang along, we wished each other well, for on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel. By 11:30 the cage was free, we rose from down below. We said a prayer and breathed the air, we walked home in the snow. And each December we all remember the story now we tell, how we turned a near disaster to the miner's first Noel. So back at home our thoughts will roam to kids and pumpkin pie, to the fireplace, the warm embrace of neighbours dropping by. So we join in song and sing along, we wish each other well, for on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel. So back at home our thoughts will roam to kids and pumpkin pie, to the fireplace, the warm embrace of neighbours dropping by. So we join in song and sing along, we wish each other well, for on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel. For on that Christmas Eve was born the miner's first Noel.
I noticed on this tour, we usually ask if there's anyone from Sydney Mines, and I don't think there's anybody left in Sydney Mines. They're all out in BC.
No, the last few nights when the shout out to Sydney Mines, there's a big response. I don't know if it's just the people are looking for more light in their lives because the world is a bit dark as we see it on the news. But the numbers for our shows have been extremely encouraging and we like to see them.
We lost a great Canadian songwriter recently and a close friend of yours and a neighbour for many years, Bruce Guthro.
Yeah.
There's a song you perform at your Christmas concerts that Bruce wrote.
Bruce was very close with us growing up. And the two families actually had similarities. There was big families of boys with one girl in both families.
Lucy and Linda.
During the Christmas season, there was some great gatherings. And I know one year, I think Seamus and Kyle were underage at that point, and they ended up on Christmas Eve over at Guthro's. And I think they were there till morning. And Bruce's mother was scolding Seamus and telling, "You stay out of that turkey." She was getting the meal together. But actually, our mom taught Bruce Guthro his first chords on the guitar in our living room. I remember he used to come to parties, and Bruce was always a singer. And I was talking to Bruce's brother, Carl, who now sings with the Men in the Deep. He was saying, you know, when Bruce would come over, he'd see you guys playing the instruments. And he said, he used to make him a little envious. He said, you know, I want to learn to play an instrument. And sure enough, he certainly did learn to play an instrument. And he became a legend in Europe with the band Runrig. And also his songwriter circles were huge, especially on the East Coast. They were just great gatherings, and people look forward to them. They loved his ability to host. He was a charmer.
Now his son and daughter are both singer-songwriters, Dylan and Jody.
That's right.
And I think Dylan is in Nashville now.
The song that we recorded on Oh Christmas 3 of Bruce's is Bound for Bethlehem.
We climbed aboard a sailing ship as she set sail on Christmas Day. Climbed aboard a sailing ship all bound for Bethlehem, aye. Set the course into the storm on Christmas Day. King of Kings was to be born, all bound for Bethlehem, aye. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh. Captain Lord, ring the bell on Christmas Day. One and all a fond farewell, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-ay. Captain bellowed around the horn on Christmas Day. King of Kings is to be born, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-ay. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh. Sails were made with angels' wings on Christmas Day. As they flew, I heard them sing, all bound for Bethlehem, aye. Through the west we saw a star on Christmas Day, a star on high to guide our hearts, bound for Bethlehem, aye. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh. Bound for Bethlehem we go, a holy King there to behold. Bound for Bethlehem we go, all bound for Bethlehem, aye-oh.
What are some of the more enduring family traditions that you celebrate each year at Christmas, your families?
Just getting together, I think, is a big one.
Our mother was a big lover of Christmas, and she always had to have something for everybody. When we'd be trying to get together to open up the presents, she'd still have different people in different rooms wrapping stuff. And so there was a lot of presents. And then when the grandkids were all little, it took a long time. It wasn't just a big opening frenzy. You watched and saw what you got. And there was funny remarks. Sometimes there was funny gag presents too in there from little kind of jokes in the family kind of thing. Over the years now, the grandkids are all grown. And last year was the first time we decided because we used to pick names for the adults and then give to the kids. And last year we decided we weren't going to pick names, and we all gave donations to the food bank or to some charity that needed it. So it felt good.
When Today in BC continues, we'll chat with Lucy and Stewart MacNeil of the Barra MacNeils and listen to more seasonal songs.
Get fast access to breaking news by signing up now to Black Press Media's free newsletters and stay informed with all the latest news delivered directly to your inbox. You'll have access on any device, so you never have to miss out again on the information you need to know.
Why spend hours searching dealerships, comparing makes and models? Find the best of BC's inventory in one place, todaysdrive.com. You'll have access to inventory across BC, where you can easily find a vehicle that fits your needs and gets you where you need to go in comfort. Get in the driver's seat. Don't miss out on the many options we have available for you. Powered by Black Press Media, todaysdrive.com connects you with exclusive new and used car deals.
I'm Peter McCully. Today in BC is a Black Press Media podcast. When we chatted last on this podcast, Stewart, you mentioned something that kind of stayed with me, and that is that you can't buy the sound of family vocals.
That's so true. Families really do have their own sound. Whether you're a family who performs professionally or not, I know especially in Cape Breton, it's so common for families to sit around during celebrations and sing songs, and the harmony element is a big part of it. And it's funny with the Barra MacNeils too, is just the range of the voices, because Lucy's, of course, her voice, it certainly stands out with the boys. Seamus is the bass, and Kyle's a baritone. I'm a tenor, but I have a good falsetto, so I can fill in the space there. And Boyd, he's in the range of Kyle in a way. Singing the songs together, especially some of the a cappella songs, it really is special. You just can't replicate the sound of family singing together.
There's a blend that just happens naturally. It's just aesthetically pleasing.
The vocal cords are the same. It's a set.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Father, a blessed angel came, and unto certain shepherds brought tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas all others doth deface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
What's the current configuration of the band that's on the road this year? And are some of the youngsters getting ready to come up and join the group?
It's the same touring outfit as we've had, actually. We've been fortunate the last number of years. It's Seamus and Kyle, myself, Stuart, and Lucy, and Boyd, and Jamie Gaddy on bass. Even the crew. The last over 20 years, we've had 2 people that did merch for us. And when one couldn't make it, the other guy just happened to be there. And it becomes that trek across the country. So they enjoy that, to work it into their year. This year, we've a great tour manager with us, Andrew Gagnon, great young talent and just a fabulous person to be around, nice energy.
And the merch person is Mick Taylor. His mother was our first cousin. She was a big lover of singing. His mother came from a family of 16, and they all sang. Singing in Cape Breton, like you said, singing families.
And are there any youngsters coming up almost ready to join?
Not my two. My 2 are in university. And the oldest grandchild is Seamus's, and he's finishing up his 4th year at St. FX. He's studying music, and he's very talented. He'll definitely be into music, but I don't know if he's interested in playing with us or not. He might want something better.
Some of the shows that are closer to home,
yeah,
we do get them involved for a few numbers, and it really is nice. They all enjoy music. They all play some music.
And they appreciate it.
And
they really appreciate it.
They do. It really is a joy when they do join us for shows. It's just great to see them anytime. So much that the sparkle that they add when they're around.
What crosses your mind when you think that in a few short years you'll be celebrating your 40th anniversary as a band or as a family group?
I don't know. It's certainly, for us, the nature of what we do is your long curve. If you were talking about businesses, and we're certainly not something that's at the top of the charts all the time. But we've always had a steady fan base, and we've built fan base. I think it's fascinating that you can have a few generations now that come out to the show, especially the Christmas show. The people, you get the kids that say, my parents used to take me to the Christmas show, and now they take their kids. They go and pick everybody up. And a lot of people, they'll go to the Christmas show, especially closer to home. They'll go to the matinee of the Barra MacNeils Christmas, and then they go home and they have a dinner of some sort.
A lot of times we hear, once they have gone to our concert, now Christmas has begun. It's here. We get that a lot.
ships on three on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And what was in those ships on three on Christmas Day in the morning?
Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning.
Ring on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. All the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. All the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. All the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. All the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Let us all rejoice, amen, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Let us all rejoice, amen. On Christmas Day in the morning.
We talked about modern day classics. There's a song that was made famous in the 50s by a number of folks, but probably best known by Bing Crosby. It's a real crowd pleaser, a real toe tapper, as they used to say, Christmas in Killarney.
Big favorite.
Christmas in Killarney. It was always the one, especially when we used to play Daniel's, the pub in Sydney. Between there and also we would do gigs at the Capri Club as well. I think we used to kick off the night and we'd play it. We probably played it a couple of times a night some years. It was just, I think there's probably some nights that you could have played it all night long and people probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Not in those days, no. Yeah, got them into a frenzy, dancing and singing and just having a great time.
It's just one of those songs and it just has a life of its own too. It has a great energy, great scenes, and it's written in that classic style. You play it through, the orchestra plays, and then you go back and you play it again. And
a lot of children really like it. People that have young ones, that's their favorite. They got to put it on and they dance and dance. And a friend of ours who sent her 3-year-old at the time, and she was singing along and all the words were different and it was so hilarious.
Oh.
There actually, I think there's a version of it on YouTube somewhere. Boyd did a little video. It's her voice, but he has all the words written out. It's really funny.
It's funny. She's the whole band.
The holly green, the ivy green, the prettiest picture you've ever seen. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. It's nice, you know, to kiss your beau while cuddling under the mistletoe. Santa Claus, you know, of course, is one of the boys from home. The door is always open, the neighbors pay a call, and Father John, before he's gone, will bless the house and all. How grand it feels to click your heels and join in the fun of the jigs and reels. I'm handing you the blarney, the lights you'll never know. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. Picture you've ever seen. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. It's nice, you know, to kiss your beau while cuddling under the mistletoe. Santa Claus, you know, of course, is one of the boys from home. The door is always open, the neighbors pay a call, and Father John, before he's gone, will bless the house and all. How grand it feels to click your heels and join in the fun of the jigs and reels. I'm handing you the blarney, the lights you'll never know. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. The prettiest picture you've ever seen is Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. It's nice, you know, to kiss your beau while cuddling under the mistletoe. Santa Claus, you know, of course, is one of the boys from home. The door is always open, the neighbors pay a call, and Father John, before he's gone, will bless the house and all. How grand it fields to clip your heels and join in the fun of the jigs and meals and handing out a blarney, the likes you'll never know. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home. It's Christmas in Killarney with all of the folks from home.
Christmas in Killarney, of course, was an Irish Celtic tune, and a famous fellow who we celebrate every year, Scottish Celtic, was Robbie Burns. He was a fascinating figure. He died at such a young age, and on the day he passed away, you would know this, his 13th child was born on the day he died.
Did not know that.
I've given one too many Robbie Burns speeches.
I know he had a lot of children.
And he penned the New Year's tune or poem, probably started out as a poem, Auld Lang Syne, which you've recorded in the past.
The version we do, we learned from a friend of ours, Scottish friend, Mary Campbell. We met her years ago. She came to Cape Breton, and our mother actually did a little tour over in Scotland one year with Mary and her husband and Hamish Moore. Her and her husband put out an album, and she had this lovely version with the old melody.
Apparently, it's the original melody. I'll tell you a great story about the version that we know as being the Guy Lombardo version. I was at Cape Breton University. My wife was working there, and there was a basketball tournament, and there was a team from China came in, a women's professional team, and they were playing the Cape Breton University women's team. My wife said, could you just come and sit? There's some of the coaches and people are there. There'll be an interpreter there, and just talk. So we were at Eastside Mario's in Sydney. We were talking, conversation was going around, and everything was translated. At one point, I asked Chinese music, what do you like? And lots of questions like that. I said, now, I don't know if this is true, but I was told that the melody for this song was originally a Chinese folk tune. I started singing, should all acquaintance be? I just started the song. They started singing in Chinese the same melody, but the different words. So they stood up at Eastside Mario's in Sydney and they sang
a Chinese folk song with the same melody that we know as what everyone sings for Auld Lang Syne every year.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot for Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my Joe, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. And surely you'll be your pines too, and surely I'll be mine, and we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Oh, the gowans fine, and we wanted money a weary fit, sin all the lang syne. For all the lang syne, my Joe, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for all the lang syne. We twa hae paidled in the burn, frae morning sun till nine, but the seas between us broad hae rode, sin all the lang syne. For all the lang syne, my Joe, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for all the lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty fear, and gies a hand o' thine, and we'll take a right good willy wad, for all the lang syne. For all the lang syne, my Joe, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for all the lang syne. For all the lang syne, my Joe, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet, for all the lang syne.
I'd like to thank Lucy and Stewart MacNeil of the Barra MacNeils for being with us on this edition of Today in BC. If you have suggestions or comments, send a voice message to podcast@blackpress.ca. You may be part of our podcast mailbag segment. You'll find Today in BC podcasts on Amazon, iHeart, YouTube, and Google Podcasts.